we're going to have a look at this grove of conifer trees here. So they're quite large, and if we get closer we can have a better look at some of the different features. So one of the first things we notice as we come up to it is it's kind of a bluey green color, and the needles come out in kind of clusters or clumps. So you can see most of the needles anyway, not all of them. It's like a little tuft, little clump of a bunch of needles all together. So there's only a few trees that have needles in clumps like that. There's larch trees, which are deciduous, and we're in the wintertime here, so it's not a larch tree. And then there's cedrus, the true cedars, that also have that structure to their needles. So this one has quite short needles that are kind of a bluish green in color. And if we look at it, we can also maybe see a couple features, other features. So we've got some of the old pollen cones from last year. And I've been looking and looking, trying to find some of the scales from the female cones, but I don't see any on the ground. Oh, here we go. These are some old ones. They're kind of fallen apart. Maybe it didn't make very many successful ones last year, but here, this is part of a cone scale from last year, or maybe a few years old, the female cones. So these overlap each other and end up making quite a large cone, like maybe about this big and about that tall. So they're quite large structures when they're on the tree, and they point upright on the branches. So that's another thing you can notice about them. Yeah, and don't mistake these for the cones. These are the male, or the pollen cones, not the female cones. The bark itself is not particularly distinctive. Again, it looks like a lot of different kind of conifer bark, sort of cracked and plated. Not extremely so, but a little bit cracked and a little bit plated. But yeah, the most distinctive thing about the Cedrus atlantica is the shorter needles, kind of a bluish color, and again with the Cedrus deodora you get more longer needles towards the ends of the branches, and it has a kind of a softer overall appearance. Like the texture on these is a little bit harsher, you know, it doesn't have kind of the same soft texture to the needles, you know, just a little bit shorter needles and a little bit harsher texture.